Preludes 12 brought a lot more than just founders to Soulframe. From the much-anticipated Mora's Hand buff to some controversial faction changes, let's take a quick look at what's new in Preludes 12 and share some first impressions. First up, we have changes to the new player experience, which is so great. Hooray. But seriously, this is actually very good for the game. New players can now try out the starting packs and weapons in Nightfold before they make their choice, so you can get a bit of a feel for which one you want to play. The starting weapons are no longer in a chest during the last pensive, but they will be available in your faction shop at rank 1. Next, we have 2 big weapon changes. Magic gauntlets, including Odiak, are now sidearms instead of main weapons, and we have a completely new grip type, the Greatsword. This weapon has really grown on me. If you enjoy slow, methodical, powerful melee combat, you're gonna love this one. We currently have 3 greatswords to try out: Needle's Eye, which you get from completing Faction Tales, Purity, which you get from the Mendicant King, and the Paragon Greatsword, which is currently only available through purchasing the Wild Paragon Founders Pack, but eventually Founders will be able to gift you a fragment that lets you craft one with their name on it. World bosses are now called the Agari, and theoretically we have some new ones, but I have not seen them yet. Supposedly they spawn in the Glades of Andoran, the Undercity of Durmak, and Nethans, but their spawns seem to be quite rare. I hope this gets fixed soon because I'm really enjoying the other changes to the Agari. They now spawn mushrooms when they die, and these agaric mushrooms are one of 2 ingredients needed to brew the Koga, a potion that debuffs your envoy, buffs enemies, and causes Agari to drop special loot. The other ingredient in the Koga is Wevetwood sap, and Oreo, the person behind avocot.org and SoulMap, kindly provided this farming route to help us out. I'll put a link below if you want to go show him some support. I will definitely be doing a full video on the Koga very soon, but for now know that if you die, the Koga ends, but if you're playing in a squad with other envoys, you can revive each other. If you feel like you're not quite strong enough for the Koga, then Verminia can now brew virtue elixirs that enhance one of your virtues by 10 for 1 hour, although you can only use 1 at a time. While in Koga, the Agari will still drop agaric mushrooms, and they can drop new runes and fragments for new talismans. The new runes are very interesting. All runes are now specific to grip type, and drop rates have been increased, which feels wonderful. While I'm sure it will be easier to balance the runes with these changes, there is some balancing to be done. We've also got totem variants now, which desperately needs some kind of UI help because the icons look identical, making it very easy to accidentally release totems you need. Until then, make sure you check the name and stats of your extra totems before you release them for Harmony. The Collector is no longer a Faction Tale boss, but instead invades Midrath as a timed world event. This is a neat change, but as far as I can tell, there aren't any new or special rewards, even in Koga. Hopefully this gets added in later. Fort Curlail now has a siege encounter, just like Fort Kernhold. Completing sieges will now earn you some infamy, and how much you get depends on how well you execute the siege. Earning enough infamy will trigger a new encounter in a future update. I really like where the system is going and can't wait to siege some of the larger castles on Midrath. P12 also brought us a ton of pack changes. Mora's Hand finally got a much-needed buff, as did Garen Rude, while Ode Tempest got a needed nerf. Orengal's Howl will now heal summoned wolves, which has some very interesting implications for buildcraft. There have also been some virtue scaling changes for the starting packs, so pretty much every build guide is going to need updating this patch. There have also been several camera changes for packed arcanics, and they feel extremely good on some packs and absolutely terrible on others. Siren and Oshelda feel wonderful in P12 because your arcanics no longer lock your camera during casting animations. I honestly had not realized how much the camera lock alone was making me dislike longer casting times. I am absolutely loving both of these packs right now because of how fun and fluid they feel to play. Mora's Hand got a bit of this with Inferno, but its other arcanics still have the camera lock, and now Garen Rude and Ode Tempest also have camera locks. I've promised you all my unfiltered opinion on all things Soulframe, so I'm just gonna tell you plainly, I do not like this change. Camera aim is extremely important to bow combat for very obvious reasons. Camera locks completely disrupt tracking and jolt me out of the flow of combat. I just cannot play Garen Rude right now despite loving that pact for this reason alone. Tethran also has this problem, but it's less of an issue because I can just pre-cast Tethran arcanics and not actually have to use them in combat. And while camera locks are a much larger problem for bow combat than for other grip types, they are still an issue for magic and melee combat, both in terms of how they disrupt the flow of gameplay and in terms of how they create motion sickness for some players. Please, DE, give all the packs the same camera treatment Siren and Oshelda get now. They feel so much more fun to play. Future Sarah here. A hotfix came through while I was working on this video that removed the camera lock from Tethran's Fellas, and it feels excellent. The animation lock is still there, but the camera now moves freely, and this is just a huge improvement. Thank you, DE, and please give us more of this. The same hotfix also brought us a ton of improvement to faction shops, which I was going to talk about next. The hotfix adjusted prices to better reflect what we earn from tails, which is great because I love the new items we can buy in P12, especially the Blush Joinery. This is a great way to give endgame players a reason to keep doing faction tales. I wasn't really worried about this even in the original version of this video because DE has an excellent track record for making those sorts of adjustments in response to player feedback, so I knew a change was coming. And speaking of adjustments made in response to player feedback, we now have a permanent compass toggle and some limited fast travel using the Webbit seeds that grow about once a day in your Nightfold. Don't worry though, mounts are still coming to Soulframe. DE just needs some time to prepare some puppy bonding experiences. Preludes 12 also came with a ton of smaller changes in quality of life fixes, my favorite of which is that souls linger near a body even after a target dies, making it easier to pull smites and charge runes. Bows got some crosshair changes, with hits and headshots each having a unique indicator. I do like that they added this, but it's a bit strange to me that the body shots have a brighter color while the headshots don't. The animations themselves are great, I guess I just expected the headshots to have that flash of color. Also, the deer look cuter. I mean, all the animals got visual improvements, but look, deer! If you're looking for info on Soulframe founders, this video shows off all the items in each of the packs. The Eternium Gardens are working now, so you can use the music emote in your Nightfold to choose an instance and plant your founder's flower. And if you purchased a pack on day 1 but missed out on planting due to delivery issues, you'll be getting another special flower that shows the founder's release date instead of the planting date. These gardens are a really charming addition to the game, a perfect place to relax, socialize, and challenge other envoys to a friendly game of regatta. And now that I've had more time to play around with the Founders items, here are my thoughts on the Paragon pack I purchased for myself. I love all of these items and I stand by my first impressions. I think DE hit a really good balance between giving Founders something special and preventing another Excalibur Prime problem. The only thing I'll add to my first impression has to do with the Wild Oshelda armor. While it's cool that there are masculine and feminine variants of this set, I wish we could choose which variant we're wearing. As much as I love the fishtail skirt of Wild Oshelda, it's just not my personal style, and I wish I could wear the masculine version, since I love how that looks. They did announce just as I was getting ready to record this that there will be some changes to this set, so we'll see if my opinion still stands, but in general I don't like it when armor variants are locked to your character's body type. The fact that the wild items do not have best-in-slot stats really does not bother me. Practically speaking, they're eventually going to get power crept anyway, so in my mind the value is the skin. We get plenty of Moonsteel thread for bestitching, and I love that we can choose to spend it on other items if we'd prefer to do so. And if I really want even more Moonsteel thread, I can use some of the arcs in the Founders packs to buy them, although I'm probably going to spend mine on pact and weapon capacity. There's also a ton of value in how Founders packages give access to more packs for early gameplay. Even if you buy a Wild pack instead of Wild Paragon, you can then choose a different pact in the tutorial, letting you start the game with both. This is a huge advantage over free players in early game. Overall, I am extremely satisfied with Soulframe Founders. I think this is a lovely way for us to support the development of the game, and in return we get to play early, get a head start, and be part of shaping Soulframe's future. I hope you enjoyed this quick P12 summary. What do you want to hear more about first? New runes? Updated pact builds? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, happy hunting!